there, welcome to the newspaper review here on TAV TV. My name is Williams Abule, and with me here on the program is the beautiful, delectable, super smart Natasha Brown.
Thank you.
You're welcome once more, and
Thank
good to
you.
see you again. How have you been?
Very well, thank you.
All right. If you're just seeing this video for the first time, do well to subscribe. What are you waiting for? We want you to subscribe so that you can get, more exciting programs here on TAP TV. Plus, you need to stay abreast with the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria every day here on TAP TV. So go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification, because that's how you'll get notified whenever we come up with a new episode of this program and a lot more of our programs here on TAP TV. Well, today we'll be doing our newspaper headlines from 3 papers, but first we'll start with Vanguard newspaper for today, the 17th of January, 2023. And on Vanguard newspaper here, we see as headline, Chatham House, INEC will hold polls despite attacks on facilities. 791 lawsuits. Professor Yakubu speaking there. You find details of that story on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. We'll go to the main headline here on the Vanguard. It says, Atiku, Dogara, Obi attack APC's same fate ticket afresh. Muslim ticket recipe for disaster. Atiku speaking. Same fate ticket, not an option. Dogara speaking there. Church take decision soon. Church to take decision soon. ECWA president speaking. APC same fate ticket divisive, says Labour Party. Atiku, greatest divider of Nigeria. APC, APC, PCC. It looks like they're firing back at all the shots, being fired by the PDP. All right, we'll go on to other headlines here on the Vanguard newspaper. We see this one. It says, Abuja Hospital gives mass burial to unclaimed corpses. You find story on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. And lastly, you see this one. Debt DMO set to raise 1.2 trillion naira via federal government bonds in first quarter. All right, stories on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. That's all the headline I'll be taking from the Vanguard. Miss Natasha, I would like you to talk to me about Atiku, Dogara, Obi attack APC's same fate ticket afresh. Is this happening because we are now in the heat of the election campaigns, or what do you think is going on?
I wonder why they didn't come out earlier when, Nigerians, when there was an uproar at the initial time. Once Tinubu picked up Shatima as his running mate, Nigerians, kicked against it, especially the Christian community, because if a Christian were to do that, if one of the parties were to run a Christian party ticket system, it wouldn't go down well with the Muslims. So for the fact that they're flagrantly just doing as they please, not necessarily listening to the people, what they want, it doesn't tell well, but I think it's even late. I mean, he's already picked his VP. What is he supposed to do? Let go of Shatima now and pick a Christian? Come on. So this had been there from the onset. And he didn't have much hit, especially from his counterparts, them, at the initial time. So they are basically just looking for loopholes to discredit one another right now. It's not necessarily a thing of personal interest, based off of religious balance, let's do what is right. It's basically them wanting to put up themselves as better than the other candidate. That's why they're doing what they're doing. If not, there's no point calling it out now. Nothing can be done about it.
I agree with you. Nothing can be done. It's the time frame has changed, and it's not working in
I mean,
favor.
we're like a month and a few days away from the election.
Very true. And again, politicians, I see politicians as a very selfish set of people.
Oh, yes, they are.
It's all about me. It's never about the collective. And so that is also playing out in the choice of this ticket of the All Progressives Congress. But then, like you rightly said, that dust has been raised and blown away already. They are
Absolutely.
still standing and they are about their campaign right now. They are in the heat of the campaign. So this can just be seen or passed off as, just a shade from the
Just trying to
PDP to cause a
discredit the
distraction.
other. Yeah.
Exactly, because they too, the PDP, they've been thrown, many stone at, just as they are throwing at the APC is throwing back at them. And we've seen this back and forth, even to the Labour Party, we've seen this back and forth amongst all of them. And so this is not new to me. It's just normal politics they're playing. But if you look at it critically, yes, we know that that ticket doesn't really create some kind of balance. It
It's
is
not. It's not right. It's
it-
already. It's already.
it's an
It's already
unfair ticket. Yeah,
creating an unfair advantage for a
yeah.
particular religious
Yeah,
community.
very true. And for Nigeria that has so much diversity, it would have been wise that they really didn't toe that part. But they have already, and it
It's
is left
done.
for Nigerians to decide what they really want. So if you disagree with that, decision, it is your vote that will speak. It's your vote that will say, okay, this is what I said I don't want, and I spoke against it. And so I vote so and so as against your Muslim ticket. But then we will see the outcome. If they go ahead and vote the APC into power, that means they didn't really care what the ticket looked like. It didn't matter to them. So the end result of the elections will tell us what Nigerians really are saying and what they want. The true intention of the mass of Nigerians will be able to we'll see that at the end of the result. That's
Totally,
why we
Abule.
are urging everyone to get their PVC. That's the only voice you have left.
Put your mouth to
Yeah.
your card.
Yes.
Enough of the talks. It's time to know who you want to vote for and go to the polling unit and do the needful.
That's so true, because that's the only way you can have a voice. Because like we said, these politicians don't really care. They don't care if it is going to work in their favor, if it's going to benefit them. If it is about their interest, then they are up for it. So how about you? If it is about your interest, if it is going to benefit you, if it is something that is fair to you, then it should be about what you want to do now. Don't be selfish about this one. Be selfish about this one. All right, that's all I was saying concerning that headline. And next, we're going to go into our other paper, and that will be This Day newspaper. And on This Day, we have a headline here. Federal government, Nigeria has enough external reserve to withstand global recession. Shocks. Mulls gradual removal of petrol subsidy from April. Says quantitative easing strategy impacting interest rates. Senate gives minister 3-day ultimatum to submit 23.7 trillion naira weighs and means details. All right, so pick up This Day newspaper to get the full story. Other headlines here, it says cash withdrawal limit. Banks suspend transactions via Naira credit, prepaid cards. Details is on page 5 of This Day newspaper. The main headline on This Day here, it says INEC will hold elections despite attacks on facilities. Yakubu insists. MRA to APC, PCC. Your blatant disregard for journalists' rights portends grave danger for media. All right, the main headline on This Day says ECWA president, church will soon announce presidential choice. ECWA president, church will soon announce presidential choice soon. Northern Christians already settled for Atiku, says Dogara. Muslim ticket recipe for disaster, former vice president warns. In Ekiti, PDP candidate promises to prioritize human development. INEC hails ECOWAS commission over dialogue with parties ahead of elections. And then lastly, you see the picture of Muhammadu Buhari, and the headline under there says Buhari receives award for strengthening peace in Africa. All right, so do well to pick up This Day newspaper, and then make sure you read the full story right there. All right, let's come to you. This headline, that's the main headline here on This Day, really caught my attention. It says, ECWA president, church will announce presidential choice soon. How do you think that is going to play out? If the church is coming out to announce a certain candidate,
it is.
I mean, I don't know why they are coming out to do it, but if they are going to do it, what is your opinion on how this is going to play out?
Okay. So first of all, I'm a Christian, yeah? So I do believe that the church can be able to galvanize support and rally around someone who presents the particular values that will promote fairness, equity, justice, because that's what the good book stands for. That's what Christianity is about. So, but to outrightly come out and say this is our candidate, this is who the body of Christ, the church, to vote for, I think it is dicey. I think it is tricky. Why? There will definitely be religious sentiments. There will definitely be biases, and there will definitely be a religious divide. Who knows? It might even downgrade and get worse into some type of rivalry between various religious sects. It might even become downright violent, you know. Like in the north, there could just become some hostility, not like it's not been there, but it can be reinforced due to such a thing happening. You know, it can be reinforced. And then in the north, we're having fights between the Muslims and the Christians and all the religious sects. In the south, you know, there's also that fight. So in the long run, I think that it is not a very wise decision to take. It is not a very wise path to toe. If in our collective churches, we are being told these are the qualities we're looking out for, and this is the preferred candidate we are looking out for, I think that's a different parameter. That's a different measure to take. But to come out and say that we as a church community, we are bringing out this particular presidential candidate, the whole church, no. I think it will do more harm than good.
I agree. I agree with you.
And Nigeria is already at a tipping point with insecurity and a whole lot of irrational behavior. And election is just around the corner. So it's not worth it. Let's do what we can in our various spaces, in our various churches. Stand on your pulpit. Say to them that, okay, these are the values we're looking at. These are the principles we're looking at. And because of this, these are certain people who embody such. But to come out en masse to say everybody, compel everyone to vote for one particular person, the pros are there, but for me, the cons far outweigh the pros.
I totally agree.
It's not worth it.
I find this very, very strange to read.
And it's never been done, though.
Where the church is saying they are coming out very soon to announce who they will be supporting or choose a presidential candidate. I don't think it's out of place for them to have a preferred candidate. It's not out of place because it is the right thing to do. The only reason why people go into politics is so they can be part of the stakeholders in terms of decision making,
policy
and
making.
Over the years or in the past, we've seen certain laws and economic laws and laws that have also worked against the church. Like in Lagos State, where you hear, oh, you cannot put out loudspeaker from your church. We will pour sanctions on your church or probably close it down. Those kind of
that
things.
Particular one, I stand for it. No speaker should be outside your church.
I agree.
The noise pollution is too much.
You stand for it, but then in some smaller churches, they find that as a means of reaching out to people that are not coming to church. They find that as a means of talking to winning souls. They might not be in church, but they are hearing, so they can, be saved from doing so. It is just belief. So I'm saying that the reason why they would get involved in politics, you see Pastor Bakare has been in politics, vying for the position of the president. And so these guys are not just coming for these offices because of their personal gains. They are coming to get into these offices so that they can be part of the decision makers or lawmakers in the country. But that being said, I find it very disturbing to see the church coming to say, oh, we will soon announce. So very soon we hear the Muslims come out to say, some imams or the sultan say, we too will soon announce.
And maybe the traditionalists as well.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So you have a preferred candidate. That's why you have a large platform as the church. One of the biggest churches in Abuja, I don't want to mention the name, houses over 10,000 persons. What am I saying? 10,000, over 20,000 persons at once. So is that not big enough platform to announce your preferred candidate and say, okay, this is the person we want to vote for, and then let them carry on? They don't need to come out and announce anything and be causing some kind of recipe for a disaster and unrest, because we already see a priest killed
Oh,
last week
yes,
in Niger
yes,
State.
yes,
And
yes.
then this week we heard the church say this. Please, let's tread with caution. This is a very, very critical time. So I think
Let's
that,
work with
yes,
wisdom.
even though it's a wise thing to do to have a candidate that the church will vote for, we should, make such an announcement in a very cordial and sensible way so that it doesn't put
Within our communities,
yes,
within
it doesn't
our church
cause yes, it
spaces.
doesn't cause more problems than good. We all know. I have my candidate I want to vote for. I'm sure, Natasha, you have your candidate, but we're not announcing it here on our program. We're not shouting it to try to cajole people. That's why I said that. So you looked at all the tickets, the ones that look reasonable, the ones that are very unreasonable, but yet you want to vote for the unreasonable one because the person is from your tribe.
And you should even be intelligent enough to see all the challenges we have faced so far as a nation,
So
as
do
a
you want to
people.
get out of it? Or you want to stay there? It's okay. Because the other day somebody was saying that just to pick up INEC card, it is so true. I had that experience. Just to pick up my voter card, you need to see the fight, the scramble, the do or die attitude that you must put up to get your voter card. Must it always be like this? Over the years, growing up as a little boy till I'm a full-grown man today, it is the same experience, day in, day out. Everything about Nigeria is about a struggle. Are
They
you not
just
tired?
the system likes suffering.
Right? Are we not tired?
It begins to look like you're hardworking when you suffer. Meanwhile, there's smarter ways to do
I like the
things.
way you said that.
Yeah, honestly.
And let's say you look like you're hardworking.
Yeah. When you stress people, oh, he's doing so much. Meanwhile, there's smarter ways
Oh
to do
man,
things.
we don't need that. We only have one life to live. Let's enjoy the life. The stress is too much. And now elections are coming again. To even get involved is another kind of
Yeah.
wahala again. Please, but then we still encourage you. These are some of the sacrifices we must make to
For
get
a
it
better
right.
Nigeria.
Yes. So we must continue to push until we get it right. We know we are very resilient people. We've been groomed. Our environment as a Nigerian has already groomed you to be very, very resilient and very strong. But we wish that we will work smarter, like Natasha rightly said. We should work smarter and get things done. All right, we're going to move on to our last paper for today, but that will be after a short break. So when we come back, we will jump into that paper. You stay tuned. After the break, we'll be back to the newspaper review here. Now that you have registered for your PVC, it doesn't stop there. Ensure you pick up your PVC. Be alert. Join many Nigerians to vote credible leaders that will change the tide of this nation. Do not sell your vote. Remember, this is our future. Your vote is your voice.
This message is proudly brought to you by Thav Media Limited.
All right, welcome back from that very short break. We are going to go into our last paper today, and that's the Nigerian Tribune for today, the 17th of January, 2023. And here we have as headline, federal government gives CONUA, NAFDA full powers to operate as trade unions, warns new unions not to behave like ASU. We are in court, no comments for now as we speak in. All right, moving on to other headline here, we see Buhari, Awolowo, Dosomi, Adebanjo, others celebrate Ayoku at 90. Ayoku at 90. And we'll move on to the main headline here. It says, INEC won't surrender to security threats to conduct mock accreditation. Yakubu insists elections will hold as scheduled. Ready for presidential runoff. Page 5 is where you get details of all of that story. All right, moving on to other headlines here. We see youth protest killing of Catholic priest in Niger. Born police station. Atiku pledges to exploit Ekiti human capital. We will restore happiness to Nigerians. Okowa on page 8 is where you will get details of that paper, of that story, I beg your pardon. Customs sees large military police hardware at Lagos airport. No cause for alarm. Akeredolu clears air on state of health. All right, kidnappers seized 3 persons who took 6 million naira ransom to free Osun victims. Demand additional 24 million naira. Is that not ridiculous? So the guy that took the ransom to the kidnappers was also kidnapped. And then the ransom suddenly rose from 6 million to 24 million naira. that is the situation we find ourselves, and it's really, really alarming. I hope that the federal government is seeing these reports and they are doing something about it. It's getting really crazier out there. All right, but then I'm going to ask you this. I'd like you to react to INEC, to what the chairman of INEC said when he says INEC won't surrender to security threats to conduct mock accreditations. How do you react to that?
I think, I mean, definitely, I'm applauding Yakubu for being staunch on his decision to say, there has been pressure for him to extend, the date of the election and all that. And he's been, no. We're going to have it at the set time that we said we're going to have it, regardless of whatever. So I like that he is staunch about his position to say that this is what it's going to be, and we're going to work hand in glove with the security agencies to ensure that we can be able to deliver a free and fair election. And in order to do that, the Beavers, they said they just got the last batch. So basically what they're trying to do is do a mock test. Let's run it through, like a pre,
to be sure that everything is working well.
It's all working well. And people are already talking about the insecurity in the country. Yes, we know that there's insecurity. I mean, the Boko Haram in the northeast, the northwest, banditry in the southeast. There's the IPOB. There's a lot going on in the country. And then most recently, the killing of the Catholic priest in Niger State. So it's a lot that it's beginning to look like people are afraid. And thinking that the election should not hold right now, it should be extended. But seriously, if we're looking at that, what time is safe enough to be able to have the elections? Besides,
we had elections in 2019, and this insecurity was really at its peak about that time.
And people still, I did come out to vote.
Yes,
I did come out to vote. So I love that Yakubu is telling us Nigerians, I'm willing to do my bit. I'm willing to put in all that I can to ensure that I deliver a free and fair election. And I'm working, with the security agencies. And that's what we actually do ask for. Yeah. That the security agencies, they actually,
up to the occasion.
Right, they do right by these people and they do right by Nigerians. It's not enough to take all those 20,000 naira, 10,000 naira that they've been giving to you. Really, really, right now, how much can 20,000 naira do for you? Yeah. Right, so this is the time that we have to rally around ourselves and ensure that we are speaking the right truths, reorientating the minds of those around us, especially those ones that we term to be maybe hooligans, hoodlums, whatever, who definitely will go about maybe trying to scatter, certain centers all that for their candidates.
Yeah, those things may not, you may not find those kind of things.
Yeah, because it's electronical now, but at the end of the day, I mean, even though it's electronical, people are going to vote, and the next thing there is uproar. People would leave, and before you know, a center is cancelled, and before you know, a certain candidate, his voting has dropped. So I mean, there's all of that to look out for. But I really do love how Yakubu is strong on his point, and is giving us Nigerians confidence that if the INEC chairman is willing to really push this hard, in spite of the pressure that is on him, and with the whole insecurity, we Nigerians, we are ready as well. We should be ready. If it means we all wear our sneakers, go out there that day and do the needful, let's take our country back. That's it. Let's take our country back. It's time where enough. The other day we were having a conversation where, and I said to the people, I said, enough. I'm tired of having these conversations in cars and in rooms and in spaces. Go out there and have your conversations. Get on TV and let your voice be amplified. Enough of these mushroom talks. I like the mushroom talk sometimes because, so in that close-knit space, you're able to really, really directly infect the thought processes of another person, and rightly so convince them to vote for a better candidate. That's fine on its own. But when your voice is amplified in the media and on your social media pages and whatnot, it reaches to a larger number, right? And your impact cannot be say limited. So it's time for us to come out, speak out your truth. Especially if it's sane, especially if it's valuable, especially if it's for the collective good of Nigerians, come out and speak. I totally agree. And then let's do what we can to also give confidence to the INEC officials to say Nigerians are ready. Let's do this.
Yes.
You know.
I love the fact that, Professor Yakubu is not giving or backing down on this whole process. It's been a long time coming. And once again, it is set for INEC and the commission headed by him to deliver, us a new precedent. And it's a very critical time, and it's a process that is demanding a lot from them. And I love the fact that he's giving Nigerians the confidence boost that, man, we are going to get this done.
He's ready to do his job.
The challenges are real. Yeah. They are very hard, but we are going to go through this stage and we'll get it done. I love that about him. And I love the fact that despite all that is happening, he's still telling you that we're going to run this test. We're going to give the report back to Nigerians and let them know that we're ready. Speaking at Chatham House yesterday, he was able to field in questions, and then if you hear the way he spoke, you will know that, yes, he's pretty ready. Yes, he's ready for the elections. And I love the fact that also Buhari, that's the government of Nigeria, is also backing him up big time and saying that this election must hold. We don't want any trouble from any quarters. We expect Nigerians to take this seriously, and this is a very critical time. So we're going to also ensure that there is peace for people to vote. Now, we know also that the Northeast has, really been ravaged by terrorist activities and all of that. Yeah. But elections held in those areas in 2019. Not all the local governments, but in most of the local governments. And most of those local governments is what we need to get results. So it may not hold in all the local governments, but the ones that, elections can be held in, it should be held in. So we are hoping that also the security agencies will rise up to the occasion to protect lives and property and also prevent intimidation that is already happening. All this killing of priests and all of that, they are all part of the intimidation we're talking about, so that people will become scared and say, okay, this election will be violent.
No, we are taking our country back.
Well, no, this time
that should be at the back of every Nigerian. Yeah. We're taking our country back. Enough of the suffering and smiling.
For the first time,
we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, for the first time, I've also made the sacrifice of standing in the sun to ensure that I got registered.
I mean, we're under the sun saying this as well.
Yeah,
so
fought through to get my PVC to ensure that I participate in this election, because I'm not taking any chances anymore. I expect you to do the same, so ensure that you get involved. All right, that's all we'll be taking today. Natasha, I want to thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much, Abule.
And to our viewers, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for staying with us up till this time. We'll come your way again tomorrow with a fresh episode of the News Super Review. You do well to join us then. Till then, you stay well and stay safe. My name is William Sabule, and this has been the News Super Review.